All right. Here we are. We are at classical Greece, or really, we are really at ancient Greece. We have a good time with that. And when everybody remember, this is the stuff that movies are made of. And you can think of a lot of movies out there. I always think of this one movie. It was made, I want to say, in 1980, Clash of the Titans. Anybody ever heard of Clash of the Titans? Oh yeah, everybody has. That's right. Then they remade it, and they messed it all up. I mean, it's got some good graphics and all. The new one, y'all like that computer animated stuff. I like the stuff that looks real, but not real at all. I know it doesn't make any sense, but that's what it is back in the 80s. All right, so check it out. I know y'all like to watch. Y'all watch the who was that? Something Jackson. Who was that? What was that? No, he may have been Greek. Not Michael Jackson. Maybe the Percy Jackson series. Have y'all seen the Percy Jackson stuff? Yeah, that's all Greek and there's stuff like that. Anyways, that's a little bit Greek to me because I haven't seen it all. That's a joke. Means never mind. All right, here we go. So check it out. You see the years we're at. We are not going to get to Jesus. That happens when we get on our next topic after Greece. That'll be Rome. So you see classical Greece. All right, we go from 2000 BCE. All right, or to 300 BCE, and then the Romans. That's where we'll have Christmas, and we'll come back, and then we'll jump into the Romans. We'll meet Jesus and all that. It'll be good. All right, so you should be writing some stuff down right now, all right, and try to put it in your own words. This right here is just a little introduction about what's going on. Got the history and culture of classical Greece, has a significant impact on the modern world, and that's the big thing. And you might want to keep in your mind, how does Greece, all right, impact you and me today? Like, what in the world is out there? Well, you're going to find out some things about politics when it comes to democracy. You might that'd be the biggest one. Then the next big one would be architecture. All right, you'll see a lot of their architecture. Y'all know the big building in front of the college. What's the name of that big building? Where they have the what's the name of it? Got the big pillars in the front of it. Oh, I forget the name of it. Anyways, those big pillars, that's all Greek. That's not American. We didn't make that stuff up. So I took a lot of stuff from them. And there'll be other things like the intellectual life, arts, and literature. All right, here we go. Scroll on down. You see we have 5 parts to this. We'll end right before Christmas in this time of this brand new culture that'll be created. I like to look at it a lot like America because it's like your first culture that's a blend of a whole bunch of different cultures, like America. They call it Hellenistic culture, and we'll end with that, and it'll be fun. You'll enjoy that. It'll be kind of weird. All right, here we go. So, first topic. This is pretty short. Okay, so make sure you're paraphrasing, putting these things into your own words. Here's you a title. Okay, go ahead and write this title down on your computer or on your notes. Either way, cultures of the mountains and the sea. So, when you look at Greece, it's because of the way it's set up, the way its geography is, with all these mountains and rocks everywhere. It's going to have a whole bunch of different groups of people that are not going to be like each other. They'll be similar because of the terrain, but they'll have come up with different ideas because it's really hard for them to get to each other unless they really want to. They're going to be separated. You see some names right here. All right, we'll see these names again in a minute. You don't have to write them down. This one, the Mycenian. All right, and you've got the Minoan, and you got the Dorian. We'll talk about each one of them. The Dorian, we won't talk about it as much, and you'll see why here in a minute. So, anybody have any questions or anything on our little introduction? All right, let's go to our first thing. So the title will stay there the whole time. So if you didn't get that title written down, that'll be fine. All right, here we go. So geography is going to shape Greek life. That's a key. Write that down. Geography. All right, when you're thinking of mountains, you're thinking of valleys, you're thinking of plains, you're thinking of whatever is on the land, the shape of the land. Just like here in Athens, Alabama, our geography shaped who we are. We're a bunch of flatlanders. I mean, if we ever saw a mountain and had to climb up it, we'd have a hard time. We'd be out of breath real quick because we live such a low elevation. Anyway, so they're going to have a whole bunch of mountains, but more importantly, check it out. They have a whole bunch of different islands. They have 2,000 different islands. So that's going to separate them. And they don't live in a modern world where they can run into each other. They can get to the islands real quickly. Not at all. Okay. The sea is also going to be important to them. You'll have three bodies of water. All right. You'll have the Aegean, the Ionian, and the Black Sea. That's going to be a big deal. Now, for this to be a little more, relevant to you, you can just show it to you. All right. Greek. Do a Greece map for you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. Let's see here. What's going to be the good one? That looks like it might be a good one. So let's get into it, get a little closer to it. Oh, that looks good right there. Yeah. All right, here we go. So here is Greece. All right, that's kind of blurry. What you're going to have right over here is the Ionian Sea. You need to know these three C's. Ionian, Ionian. And then you have the Aegean Sea. All right. The Mediterranean Sea you could put right down here. But all these islands are going to be a big deal. The Black Sea goes off that way. Tons and tons of islands. So if you're in Crete, all right, you're going to have a hard time getting over here to Greece. You could be in Sparta. That's going to be a big topic. And get to Athens. That's a hard time getting to each other because they're not connected. It'll look like a little bitty maybe connection right there. But this is Greece. You are mountain/water people. That's a real generic way to put it. Y'all with me on that? Let's see if I find a little better picture there. Ionian, there you go. Ionian. Yeah, the Mediterranean Sea, Aegean Sea, and the Black Sea. You can't see it, but there's a little bitty piece of it up in the corner there. All right. Have I got any questions about any of this? Any questions so far? Oh, yes, this is a good one. Good. Really good one here. Can anybody tell me what the different colors mean? Go ahead, just holler it out. There you go. Elevations of land. What'd you say, bud? Where the mountains are. So check it out. It's like straight mountain the whole time, all around through here. And look, and these mountains, they're not like gentle, easy mountains to get up and down. These things are like rocks. I mean, they're literally like, if you get on top of them, you can hide behind rocks. Big old giant loose rocks everywhere. Yeah. So anyways, there's a little bit about Greece and its geography. The Ionian Sea, Aegean Sea, and the Black Sea are the big ones. You might want to even put Mediterranean Sea because look, it's right there. It's going to link them to the rest of the world. Any questions? All right, let's keep rolling then. All right, so, all right, next topic here, the land. And I guess I talked about the land already there. Look at this one. I want y'all to see this. This is a big one right here. The climate. All right. There's two types of phenomenon when it comes to what it's like outside. You got the weather. The weather is the day-to-day temperature or activity of the atmosphere around it. So right now, the weather, what would you say about the weather right now? It's cold in the morning, but it gets nice in the afternoon, doesn't it? And it got about 70 yesterday. It was really nice outside, but cold in the morning, cold at night. All right, that's your weather. But then there's your climate. Okay, how would you describe the climate where we live? All right, maybe hot. All right, so the climate is the average weather of the year. All right, so in Athens, Alabama, North Alabama, it averages a lot of hot days and then some cool days in the winter. Our winters are not very cold. If it does get super cold, does it last very long? No, because that's just the climate that we have. The climate check it out, in Greece, guys, it's going to be like a wonderland. I'm talking amazing. All of you want to go there. You'll be in the clothes you want to have on. You'll be in nice light clothes. You won't ever wear heavy clothes because it doesn't get cold there. It's nice. It's wonderful. Because of that, look where everybody spends most of their time. Where do they go? Outside. They're going to be spending time out. They don't have to be inside to try to change the weather around them, the temperature around them. It's just so nice. And that's what's kind of neat about living around water. Water always makes your air more mild. Always. So if it's really, really, really hot, what if you're near water, what's it going to do? It's going to cool that hot air off. If it's around really, really, really cold, what's that water going to do? It's going to warm it up. Water does that for you. So they live in a moderate climate, and they end up with a lot of outdoor activities because of that. Any questions on that? All right, here's something else. Check it out. Because the mountains are so rugged, they don't have a lot of people there. They're going to have small populations because they don't really. Here's the big one. And it's not even on this here. They have a lot of water, but they don't have a lot of water that you can use. So what type of water do they have? There you go. They have a lot of salt water. They don't have a lot of fresh water. Because if you don't have a lot of water, you're not going to be able to have a huge population. Anyways, that's something else to know. All right, let's keep cruising right along here. All right, check it out. First group of people I want you to meet. And you don't have to write every single thing down on each one of these. Just kind of, know a little bit about each one, and then we'll get more information later. So the first group of, we'll call them Greeks, even though they're not really Greek now. They're in the Greek area. Or they're called the Mycenians. They're in the green. Okay, make sure you have all these green words. All right, do you remember the Indo-Europeans that went to India? Remember they were called the Aryans? This is from that same time period. There's some group of people came into Greece and they took over this land. Okay, and they'll dominate the area. They'll be, again, we'll say the first Greeks. And they start to set up their life there, their belief system there. Okay. All right. Then, as time goes on, you see that's about 2000 BCE. Now, 500 years later, they come in contact with what's called the Minoans. Okay. So the Minoans and the Mycenians are going to learn from each other. Now, look what happens right here. The Minoans are going to learn the value of getting out there on the water and trading with each other on these islands. All right. The sea trade and this culture, they begin to blend with each other. Does that make sense, everybody? Now, this is where a lot of movies come from. Have y'all ever heard of the movie? All right, I'm all the way down here on the next one, called the Trojan War. Y'all ever heard of that? Anybody ever heard of the Trojan horse? All right, Helen, all that. Yeah, y'all need to. If y'all hadn't seen that, I need to show y'all some movies or some clips from some. Anyways, it's gonna be good. Yeah, it's a good movie. Well, they probably made the Trojan War movie. I bet they've made it 12.5 times. I mean, I'm talking a lot of stuff from that. A whole bunch. They even had one where, who was it? Brad Pitt was in it. Brad Pitt was playing this demigod called Achilles. Y'all ever heard of Achilles? All right, that's the story. Let's see what it says. Doesn't really tell you here, but what it is, basically, the king had a wife, and she was taken by a Trojan. And then they sailed back to Troy across the sea, across the Aegean Sea. And then the Mycenians and the king, they went over there to get her. And they had this war. And the war ended in a spectacular, like very strategic, tactical way with this Trojan horse. And I'll tell you more about that later. All right. So questions about that? Will be good. Okay. Yeah. All right. 2 more little slides and I'll be done. Okay. So you see the Mycenians there. Now this is where it's going to get weird. Notice there's another green word. The Mycenians are going to go away. They're going to collapse. And this group comes in and takes over. But here's the deal. Do you see right there? This is what you kind of need to write down. The Dorians come in. What are they? What does it say right there? What's those 2 words? They're less advanced. The Dorians are less advanced. And what happened is, we don't really know what took place during the time of the Dorians. They didn't leave any written records that we can read. We don't have anything to get from them. Yeah. And so the Dorians time period in Greece, we kind of lost that. We know it was during the Bronze Age. You're starting to use the metal bronze, which is a real heavy metal that you can make swords out of and armor and stuff like that out of. But just know that the Dorians are less advanced. I like to call them, because their first letter starts with a D, I call them the dumb Dorians. It helps me remember that they were the less advanced ones. Actually, kind of what they did is they put the Greek culture and its improvements or its advancement, they put it on hold. It kind of stopped everything. They were making advancements. Things were getting better and better. They were learning to sail and trade with each other. Dorians come in, boom, everything's on hold. because they're just not as advanced. They're just more barbaric, we think. All right, check it out. Now we're getting into the literature of the Greeks. You need to know about Homer. And there's all these different books and things that he wrote, or stories, or poems, or narratives, or epics, whatever you want to call them. But no Homer. He was this storyteller. He's blind. And he would tell these stories that ended up in these, that became very, very, very famous. Like, y'all ever heard of the Iliad? Oh, yeah, everybody has. All right, the Odyssey. The Iliad and the Odyssey. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, y'all look excited about that. Yeah, those are good things. You'll get the Trojan War from that. When you watch any Greek movie, they're going to tap into Homer's Iliad and the Odyssey, and there's others, but those are the big ones. Now, notice the green words here. Homer, know him. There's a lot more to than that. But what he wrote was epics. So in his stories, he always had a hero in it. Always. And that's what an epic is, a hero. But here's the deal. The hero would do some amazing things, but in the end, what do you think usually happened to the hero? They die. Typically, they die. That's what makes them an epic or an epic situation. Yeah. In the end. All right. Questions, comments? All right. Again, I'll show you something that'll have all this in it. Here's our last slide of the day. So last thing the Greeks did that came out from the Mycenians, Minoans, and the Dorians is they developed myths. Now, you need to know what myths are, all right, but really more importantly is why in the world did humans start developing myths? Why do they do that? So check out the second dot. What were they trying to do? Greeks seek to understand what? Mysteries of their life through myths. They're trying to understand, like, what is love? What is hate? What is jealousy? And they began to take their gods and make them more like humans. So they gave their gods aspects that were not just godly. They weren't just like these supernatural creatures that were flying around up in the sky looking down on us that had only supernatural powers. They also had human powers. They were jealous of each other. They were taking each other's girlfriends. They were like, they were kind of like middle schoolers in a way. Yeah, that's what they were. Then you have the famous ones. Know these famous Greek gods and goddesses. Zeus was their leader. His wife, Hera, and their daughter, Athena. Those would be three big ones. And there's tons of others. These just happens to be the ones that we're going to look at right here. All right, I'll give you a second. Let me see if I'm done right there. Yep. To write a few things down right there about that. And I'm going to be quiet for a second. Anybody got any comments, questions before I quit this? All right, thank y'all for watching, and I'm going to share something with y'all that's going to give you a lot more detail about all of this. Thank you for paying attention. We'll see you on the next one.